Hi, my name is Safi, and you're listening to the Professionalrambler podcast. This is episode 16, where I'm going to talk about the idealization of politicians and why that's bad, and the negatives of why that's a problem, and how people are trying to make politicians seem like celebrities where they can cancel them, and how that should never be a thing. So I'm going to talk about all about problems and the problems rooted in that. And yeah, because there's a lot of problems rooted in the idealization of celebrities. And I say idealization of celebrities. There's problems with idealizing celebrities also. But for this episode, I'm just going to talk about idealizing politicians and why that's really fucking bad. Like, really fucking bad. So yeah, before I start this episode, I'm going to talk about my highs and lows for this week. So I just came back from Thanksgiving break. Thanksgiving was great. It was great chilling with the fam. Oh my god, I'm 18 years old, but saying that makes me sound like an old head. So I'm not gonna, because nothing I say sounds right in my mouth. So yeah, it was cool chilling with the fam. Ha ha ha. So I liked it. It was like 5 days, but it felt like so much shorter. I was like, damn, I already have to leave so fast. I enjoyed that, and so. I guess my lows for this week is my next block just started, so I'm in my next block, and I just went to my class. This block, it starts at fucking 9 a.m. My last block started at 1, so I was able to sleep in, and then with this class starting at 8 a.m., I have to wake up at 8:30, and then I set my alarm for 8:30, but I snoozed it because I was not able to sleep, so I was like. And then I woke up for a second. So it was 8:59. I was like, oh shit, let me open my laptop. And I opened my laptop and I got to class exactly at 9 o'clock. So, good thing of my classes being online this block. So that was fun. And my class seems hard. We have to write research papers, do discussion questions. But it's also kind of fun because it's kind of race, gender, and sexuality studies. My last block class was intersectional feminism. So I guess the topic sounds fun and stuff, but doing research papers is it's quite exhausting. It's quite fucking exhausting. So that's my lows for the week. But my research paper is not due till December 16th, the rough draft. So I got time. And and another high is today's November 30th, my sister's birthday. So shout out to my sister for 2021. Finally, one of us can do something. So, she's happy birthday, Missy. Have a great birthday. And so, yeah, it's very exciting. And yeah, it's wow. One of my siblings is already 21. We're all going really old. Really old. So, yeah, happy birthday. So now I'm going to get into the episode. And yeah. So the problem that triggered the beginning of this episode that made me really start writing notes in my phone with oh, I want to really talk about this is on Instagram. I saw this post by What Radicalized You. Sounds like some type of white liberal type shit. Okay, but I don't know. So I saw this one post and it kind of pissed me off. It was letting go of Obama and opting for radicalism. And it was talking about all the shitty things Obama did, and I was obvious yeah, it was under his campaign, and stuff like that. And all these terrible things happened under him, and the Obama, and when I see people critiquing Obama and stuff like that, it kind of pisses me off because I'm just so we are critiquing Obama, but the rest of I don't give a fuck. But the rest of the other 45 presidents, is it 45 presidents? Did terrible fucking shit, and now that Obama's out of office, and now that you're now we have to. But I'm the reason why you're disappointed is because you saw Obama as this god and stuff like that. He can do no harm because he's a black man. You're we finally have a black man, he can do no harm. But he's not the thing he's not the one doing all this stuff. The president is just a face. It's with the other 50,000 white men in office, men in the government officials that are doing all this fuck shit, bombing Iraq and /Iran, bombing third world countries, going to war. War is so stupid. I want to make a whole episode about war. War is the dumbest shit, and the recruiting system, that shit's so stupid. But yeah, anyway, and then people are he did all these bad things, blah blah blah. I'm but Obama is the one that legalized gay marriage. That's a huge thing. And Obamacare, and the Affordable Care Act /Obamacare, that's a huge thing. And Obama want to do way more, but like if you want to do way more, you got to do fuck shit. Because like the whole like system is kind of like built on like doing fuck shit if you want to get and it was especially harder for him, especially since he's a black man. And like if you want people to vote for like what you want, you have to do what they want. So it's kind of like the whole government system is like lifting it out and stuff like that. So that pissed me off, and I went on a whole rant on my social media of just like I was upset. So I'm gonna read out what the post I wrote of like that made me really upset. I hate posts like this with a passion because people are obsessed like with idealizing politicians like you do with celebrities, and it's toxic as fuck because when you hear something bad that they did, you want to cancel politicians like you do with celebrities. Politicians are never good and will never be good because the system that they are is terrible. You cannot expect good people in a terrible system, and because of this idea that you made Obama seem like the greatest, and now you're all proud when you learned that he did bad things. So now you guys are all against him and stuff. Obama is a visible black man, right? Even though he is biracial, he's a visible black man. So which makes it so much harder. And like the odds that Obama would get 2 terms were very slim, and the fact that he did, like, if you think Obama didn't do any of the things that the white man did, you think the Electoral College would have voted for him for two terms to legalize gay marriage and do the Affordable Care Act? Did you really, like those are 2 big things that are, like, seen as, like, the radical left, and, like, if he didn't do what they said, he would not be able to do anything in office, and his office time would have just been like a waste of time, like do it the like 45th president, like Reagan, Bill Clinton. I don't fucking know all the presidents. Like, so let me continue my post. And we know him being in the office is already minimized. So anything he does is he's basically a puppet to the other white men in the system. So if he didn't do what they wanted him to do, he wouldn't have lasted 8 years and wouldn't have. And Obamacare wouldn't be damn near a thing. He got a strike against him for being black. So if he wants to do anything, if the other white men that's controlling him, he got gay marriage with and Obamacare with that. It's never sunshines and rainbows in the government. They're all shitty people, and stop acting like politicians are good people. Hence, they're not. We gotta take what we can get. And thank you for coming to my TikTok. So yeah, that was my TikTok. My aunt, I went and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna leave the rest for this podcast because and then I left a huge comment. So it's like when I see people idealizing politicians, because when you idealize politicians, you're making them seem like celebrities, and celebrities are like cancelable. But like we all know cancel culture is not a thing, and like cancel culture doesn't actually cancel the actual people. But like you now, like you were like in this phase of social media of like the activism side of social media trying to like cancel Obama because they're like he bombed the Middle East, he did all this, he did this, but like during his presidency the unemployment rate for Black Americans was on an all-time low, and that's when Trump is trying to take credit for that unemployment rate going down. So and like so you just see a lot of like these people trying to cancel Obama, saying like, why are you idolizing Obama? He didn't do anything good. But I'm like, so did the other 45th presidents. They've never done anything good for the country. Like them, like the only reason like they freed slaves is because of the economy. It wasn't because it was good for slaves, for the Black Americans. They did like none of these other presidents freed slaves because it was good for African Americans. It was because it was good for the economy. Then they've never once given 2 fucks about Black people. So what made you think like the difference was gonna be now? Like it's just like you just see a lot of these people, and like when you cancel them, you're like they're bad people, and I see a lot when I see TikToks of the people trying to criticize Obama. I literally skip because I low-key kind of comes off a little bit racist. I know I don't like to throw around the racist word because like I don't throw around the racist word like that, but like it comes out a little racist of the one Black man that's in office is the one Black person you want to critique. Interesting. It's not interesting, right? Isn't that interesting? So it's it's just like and like I was like with my TED talk I had on my Instagram was how can there be good politicians in a system that was never built to protect anyone unless if your skin color was white, and even if you're white, Jewish people are still not considered white people, even though their skin color isn't. I want to also talk about I want to later talk about this the concept of race, because like I learned this also in my in all my classes I've taken so far at college, like how race is like a social construct, and how like white people have Jewish people have like skin is like white, but like are not considered white, don't have like the economic privilege of being considered white. Okay, I want to finish this thought of like I don't understand where the like hate of Jewish people came from. I know it used to be Irish, but now Irish people are like considered white. But like, what did Jewish people ever do but literally be born with pointy nose, blue eyes, and like look like what did Jewish people ever do that like they were? But that's also with every marginalized group. Like, what did every marginalized group do to like be hated on for just who they are? Like, black people are literally just black and like are marginalized for over 400 years. Native Americans are just doing their culture and they're marginalized. Hispanics, same thing. So it's like, where did this like whole idea come from of like people just being marginalized for the way of their appearance, and just like with Jewish people, it makes absolutely no sense, because like they fit, like physically they fit all the characteristics of being white, but like on paper they're not still considered white and stuff like that, and are still marginalized like Jewish people. So it's just like that whole concept makes no sense. That like Jewish people are like mostly white, so like how are they not considered white? Like that whole concept is really strange. So that whole thing doesn't make sense to me. And so how can there be good politicians in a system that was built on racism, sexism, homophobia, and a system built to keep the black people away? So it's just like the system was never meant to protect everyone. It was only meant to protect white people from the races, from the isms I just mentioned earlier, of like how are they how is there good politicians in that system of like you have to do this in order to do this, and no politicians has ever been good. So I'm like, you can't critique Obama, you have to critique the whole fucking system. The system, like, if you want good politicians, you have to literally break down the fucking system and rebuild a whole new system, because like the system is literally built on doing some fuck shit that makes absolutely no sense to nobody. And so it's just like that whole thing absolutely makes no sense of like trying to critique Obama and stuff like that. And people are treating like politicians like celebrities in the sense that they can get canceled if they do something bad. Like if you see, like when you see Jeffree Star getting canceled because he said the N-word and said a lot of derogatory words towards black people. So, and you're like, he's bad, so we cancel him, but like he's never really canceled. But like you're trying to make politicians seem like celebrities. Politicians are not celebrities, because, and like just recently, like this, like now, like you see a lot of like politicians creating Twitter pages and like kind of like critiquing pop culture. But I'm just like, why are you on Twitter when you should be doing like politics related stuff, whatever the fuck politicians do? I don't know, politics related stuff, I don't know. But it's just like you see they're like talking about like the WAP music video by Megan Thee Stallion, and they're talking about all this stuff. But like politicians are not celebrities, because like they're the ones that like controlling the rights of American people. They're controlling the rights of the citizens, the rights of these people. So they are not celebrities, because like they're the ones like passing bills, passing stuff and stuff like that. And so like we can't put them on the same levels of celebrities, because celebrities are not really doing anything per se. They're just like they're as like a public face, and they're as entertainment. And politicians are not supposed to be entertainment, so we can't cancel politicians, because in order for like a politician to be quote unquote canceled, they have to kind of like because politicians are being you're being voted into the office. And so how can you cancel someone if their like office term is not out, and like people are continuing to just vote? So the only quote unquote way of like politicians to be canceled if you vote them out of office. But like people are not, because there's still people like that are voting for people who are terrible people. So it's just like, yeah, politicians can never are not supposed to be cancelable. So there's this one analogy I kind of thought about. I've used it for a lot of other situations too. I'm gonna use it a lot in these later episodes. Like, it's like politicians are like babies in a sense of they can't do anything, and when babies do something, we reward them. Like when babies like talk, like say mama or dada, you can see like the face of like happiness on like the parents' face of like, and then the baby, like babies can't like talk or anything, but like they can see like happiness and like they rejoice to the happiness. So like when the babies like say like their first word or like walk for the first time, it's like we reward them. So it's like when politicians do something, we have to reward them, but if we negatively show them, it's like, I'm like, if they do something and we don't negatively show them something, they're not gonna do it again. And like, I know that I'm not a child, but like I might as well be. But it's like it's like if I do something, but if I don't get like any type of like reward or something like that, even though if that's like if that's not a physical thing, or if it's more of like just like emotional like connection type thing. It's like if I don't get a positive reaction from something, I don't want to do it, because I'm just like there's nothing new. So it's like we have to reward these politicians with like say for like giving us the bare minimum of how like they're like literally debating on like abortion, they're debating on like gay marriages and stuff like that, like gay people. It's like, so when they do something little, like a basically like giving people basic human rights, or like making like no, like I believe like no one should be homeless, like especially since America is seen as like a first world country. So like nobody should be homeless in the country that's seen as first world. So it's just like politicians are like babies, so we have to reward them, and if we show them negative things, they're gonna be like, why? Then I'm not gonna do it. So it's just like politicians they're like babies and essentially like toddlers of like, you have to show them good reaction for them to want to continue it. And same thing with politicians. Assume all they know is bad. Is to do bad things. So when they do something good, we have to reward them. Either like sending out letters to them, or like just like having like a huge, like how with Trump had like, he had like a lot of like MAGA fans of like, he kept doing the stuff he's doing because a lot of his supporters kept encouraging him. And like when they do bad things, it's like we have to like tell them bad, don't do it. And so you see a lot of this like mixing stuff like that of like politicians are little babies, and we have to reward them if we want something good to keep happening. And yeah. Half of the United States presidents were all fucking slave owners. Like no matter what they say, like they returned the slaves. Of like, was it George Washington? I believe it was George Washington, when they were like, George Washington returned all his slaves and stuff like that. But he never really did, because I remember like my brother I forgot the whole story. I have like selective memory, but like with like my brother talking about like how like George Washington would literally like take the teeth of slaves, because like he didn't have teeth, because he had like some type of like teeth disease or some shit like that. So he would take like he would take out teeth from slaves' mouth to like give himself dentures, and that was his dentures. And like how like he would go to like countries where like you could only have slaves for a limited time and like return them. So that's where the whole idea of George Washington returning his slaves, because I like perceiving himself as like he never had slaves. Half of all these presidents had slaves, and we're all fucking racist, and like people voted for them because half of the United States is racist. And like to see that 71% of American citizens voted for Trump all over the United States is crazy. And even now you see like half of America is racist as fuck and don't care about black people. I never cared about black people. And you see a lot of like these TikTok videos, Instagram posts of like saying like of white people saying like they're not racist, but like yes they are. Like, and that's where the whole idea of performative activism comes from, of like only saying certain things just to like appease. But like when it's time to actually show that you're not racist, you don't. When it's actually time to show that you're not racist in the polling booths, you don't show that. And it's really seen a lot in these in these in these votings of like half of the country voted red, even though Biden still won. And like it's crazy of like how like we know that Trump is openly fucking misogynistic and sexist and racist, but like people are still voting for him because he's good for the economy, he's good for this, but like he's not really doing anything to better the American people. And like and the only people that he's really bettering is white American, and because like Black Americans have only just been used for like props and stuff like that, and like people like they pay to say like, look, we're diverse or whatever. And so just like half of America is racist, and like that's the topic that a lot of people are not ready to talk about, like, and like just ignore like the identities and the intersectionality that a lot of people of color in America face. Is something that they're not ready to talk about. And yeah, and like how Lincoln, was it Lincoln did the exclamation, the exclamation proclamation that freed slaves, but that exclamation proclamation, oh god, I'm so saying that wrong. I'm like that. That freed the slaves. Never, he only did it for economic reasons, and never because owning slaves was bad. And like with that, slaves, many slaves were still not free with that. But like it was a public thing, and after like many years of after the proclamation, after many years of the proclamation, many slaves still weren't free at all, but like we're still not free. And then like after 50 plus years, and then that's where like the Jim Crow era came from, the Reconstruction areas of like and segregation of like whites only, blacks only, and like how blacks weren't allowed to enter certain stores, and like how and the rise of the KKK, because like black people was succeeding. And with Black Wall Street, when like Black Wall Street was finally like doing well, they had to knock it down. They were like, no, black people are not allowed to succeed. And that it's like whenever black people are doing well, that's when something bad always happens. And you see this, and that's why they're like, well, why do Black Americans never succeed? Because when Black Americans do, when majority of Black Americans are starting to succeed, that's when it's an issue. And it's an issue because like white Americans never wants Black Americans to succeed. They're like, we're not racist. Yes, you are. Yes, you fucking are. And you can see this with a lot of like white people like today, and just that whole thing. It's like the slavery on paper might have ended, but slavery has never ended in America till today. Never. Like the whole like with the brainwashing of that white American had on Africans, and would like white Americans will literally go to Africa and say like the African Americans are lazy, they're ghetto, they're this and this and this. And so that's why a lot till this day like Africans are like very like anti-black towards Black Americans, because of their anti-blackness that was kind of like raised, and just like that constant thing. So like till today you still see that there's that intergeneration trauma that a lot of black people have of slavery, because it affected people. And like white people are like, slavery ended so long ago, but no, it didn't, because like that intergeneration trauma is real. And it's real in a lot of black people, a lot of Black Americans, and a lot of Africans. And that's why you see a lot of the hatred coming from like Black Americans and Africans, of like hating each other. But like all of this was all due to we're all caused by white Americans, and white Americans are refusing to accept that they did this, and this is what they did, and this is all because of them. Where did I just go? I really just went on a whole tangent when my points on my notes was literally on half of the United States presidents were slave owners, and I went on that little tangent. But yeah, it's like a lot of them are all fucking racist. So it's like, if all the presidents were racist, so like people thought just because Obama was black, that means everything is good, like slavery doesn't exist, like, oh my god, see, we have a black person in America, nothing exists, like racism is solved and stuff like that. So it's like, and when they hear that he did something bad, like the other 45 presidents, they're like, no, there's no way he did that, there's no way. So it's just, I'm just like, bro, I'm just like, Obama might actually have done that. I'm not saying he didn't, but like, half of them, he's probably not the one that did all of that, like bombed like Iran and Iraq, or had the idea to do so. It's like the United States literally spends like trillions on military. So like they have to use their fucking trillions that they spend on military equipment to do something. And yeah, he might be the commander of chief, but like then like he has to like do what they tell him to do if he wants to get anything done in office. And he was able to get lower unemployment rates for black Americans, he was able to get gay marriage, and he was able to get the Affordable Care Act. Those are three huge things that like gay American people needed. And yeah, and when it's just like that whole thing pisses me off. And so my next point is there are still loopholes that kept black. Wait, I kind of already talked about this on my little tangent, but like there's still a lot of like loopholes that kind of like affect black Americans on that like aspect of it, of like just like constantly that affects a lot of black Americans to this day. Of and those loopholes are in the government created by those racist politicians and the racist presidents. Like I saw this one tweet the other day, was like the founding fathers are in hell, and I was like, definitely they're like rotting in hell because they're all terrible. Like the founding fathers were never for black people. Like the founding fathers were literally slave owners. So it's like if the founding fathers of America were slave owners, and basically the ones that kind of formed the government, what makes people think the government's for black people? What makes people think that the government is for black Americans? Like, I just want you to know that like the founding fathers were literally slave owners, and you think like the government was built for black Americans, we're built for black people, we're built for any people of color. Like, legitimately think about that. Like you legit think like it was meant for black people. I legit want to know where people stand, because I'm just like, the founding fathers were slave owners, so why would they care about black people? Like they literally use black people for house labor and like for like labor, and like would beat them and like stuff like that. So, and like rape them. So like why would the people who founded America founded the government, and why would the government ever? So of course there will be loopholes. Like they're the ones that created the prison system of like the prison. Because I want to also give a whole nother episode of this, of like the prison system and how the prison system was basically made to enslave black people legally this time, but like it's never legal, because it's like they literally arrested the police department was literally arrested black people for like minor crimes, so locked them up for like years, and do slave work basically. Yeah. And you still say a lot of like how like black people are like incriminated, are like locked up for like minor drug charges, while like white people do like the hard drugs, and like the white people drugs are like coke, crack, and like stuff like that, and like that's the what. But like people know that they do this, but like it's seen as the rich drug. So if you can afford that, like, you know, and which is majority white people that are in Wall Street, and like that whole business era all literally popularized coke. But like nah, and like the whole like it wasn't Nixon like the drug era of like planting drugs in black and brown neighborhoods to arrest black and brown people. Yeah, so politicians, and my next point is politicians aren't people. They will never wear. Politicians are not people. They are terrible people. They are not if I'm people, like I don't know what the politicians are. Politicians are not people, because they're like terrible to like an extreme. Like they would do it, and like because politicians are, and like now like you see like politicians are like capitalists, or just like want to earn money, and if that's like if that's exploiting people for their own gain, it's like like politicians were never meant to help people. Like they aren't people. Like they aren't. It's like if they're not gaining something in it, they're not gonna do it. And yeah, And also like like no matter what politicians are, like even if it's black politicians, like they're still not good, but like there's still a lot of like good black politicians, and like I don't like how like which Chicago, Chicago is considered a black Mecca, which basically means Chicago had a lot of black people in political power. Like the mayor of Chicago is black. It's black, queer, and lesbian. The mayor of Chicago is a black queer woman, and the entire like officer departments, police department, like the higher ups in the police department in Chicago are all black. And like almost everyone in Chicago is still black, but like they're still corrupt. There's still like a lot of like there's still like a lot of like mass locking people up. The word was mass incarceration, not mass lock up. I'm sorry, I'm stupid. Get back into it. I can't find the word, but there's still a lot of like mass locking people up for like minor crimes. There's still like a lot of fuck shit. There's still like over policing in Chicago, even if a lot of the higher ups are black. So it's like adding politicians to your name is terrible, and that's why I never want to work in the politics, because I know once I work in politics, I'm going to be a terrible person, because that's just how it is. Because like the whole politics scene makes like I don't ever want to work in politics, and if I do like work like in politics or anything like that, or like it's like I'd rather work in the ACLU than work as a politician, even if like yeah, we need more good people in the government, but like no, like for example, AOC, it's like she's like a woke queen. We love AOC, but like people start to like hate AOC because they heard like she voted for like an anti-Semitism bill in the house, and like we're like she's not good, like we don't like AOC anymore. But I'm like, AFC does not have to believe all of that, but like it's like she has to vote for someone else, for someone's bill, for them to vote for hers, because it's like a trading thing. Like you vote for my bill, I vote for yours. And if you don't do that, like nothing you do is gonna get passed. Like none of the bill you ever want is gonna get passed. So you like she has to trade. So she legitimately could not like if she because I don't believe AFC is anti-Semitic at all, but like yeah, you have to do certain things in order if you want certain things to happen, and that's just like the government system that we work in, and we like yeah, it's like and people are trying to cancel AOC because like she voted for like an anti-Semitic bill, but like it's not really her. It's like if she wants to get anything done, she has to get this done. Like it's just like you have to trade in like your votes for bills, and yeah, and that should not what politics should be about, but it is, and because that's how it's built, and that's how like the system is built of like getting more votes to do this thing. So it's just yeah. Yeah, the bar is on the ground for white people, and the bar is on the ground for white people and politicians. So you expect nothing. Same with white people, and yeah, I really live with that, and that's like my last point. But like, you really live with that. The bar is literally on the ground for white people, like. And same with politicians. So like, no matter whatever they do, like like the bar is like literally on the ground for politicians. So like anything they do, like just give him like basic human rights, like the stimulus check that like family chef got twice, but like only giving one, that like 2000 check of like the government giving people actual $2,000 check was like huge, because like, and that should be something like should be normal, especially like in the global pandemic of people losing jobs. But like that was something that like took like people didn't get until like the third month of lockdown, of like, even though people still have to pay rent, people still like, there should have been like rent forgiveness for this whole pandemic since people lost money. And like, so like giving that 2000 stimulus check, which should have been like done, like that should have been passed just like that. Should have been given. So like anything that politicians do, even though it takes like so long to do like basic shit, like you have to give them props for it. Like how I said earlier with like politicians are like babies. Like you have to show them like this is something like isn't it so weird? Like isn't it so weird? Like they're so great. Aren't they great? I'm like this lovely, lovely politician's great. But yeah, it's just a lot of this. It's just like the buzz. Like for white people, like I have this one idea, and I think I'm gonna close this episode off. It's like all white people are racist. No matter how woke you say you are, all white people are racist. So I found this one TikTok that better explains where my theory comes from. Of like, I'm gonna play it right now.
Any white person who was born, raised, and schooled in the United States of America, if you aren't a racist, you're a miracle. Either that or you decided to educate yourself. Because education in this country is about white is right, brown's all right, black's got to stand back. Yellow's mellow, but whites, we educate in a way that says that white males have done all the adventures, have made all the adventures, have done all the discovering, have made all, everything that is good and has been accomplished according to social studies, which is actually anti-social studies, by white males. It's a lie. But we do that in order to maintain the myth of white superiority. The myth of race has to be maintained at all costs in this country. Because if white people have to give up the color of their skin as being something that makes them perfect, what do they have left? Any white person.
That's my favorite white person so far. I don't know what her name is, but on a TikTok of someone playing it. But like this old white woman is my favorite old white woman because she really explained the whole concept of like how like just like white people are racist and like you have to and like if you're not racist you're like the miracle and like how there's a lot of internalized racism that goes in there. So yeah, and so it's like and that might come off as like internalized racism and stuff like that. But like all white people are racist. Like all the politicians are bad. So just expect that all politicians are bad. So you can't expect. So you can't like. So your hopes can go up. And like how I said earlier. And so it's just like I expect nothing from white people. Like I expect nothing from politicians because they're bad. Politicians are bad people. They're terrible people. So we expect nothing from them. And yeah. So I think that's how I'm gonna end this episode. So if you liked it. Leave this episode leave this podcast a review. Let me know how you feel, and or you can DM me on Instagram at Professionalrambler or email me at professionalramblerpodcast@gmail.com. And yeah, I think that's how I'm gonna end it. So yeah, remember that I always have an opinion, and I'll see you guys in my next episode. Bye.